dying, and God denyo, oh what da dying. This is the voice of the patriot. Here we speak truth to power without any compromise. Here we don't criticize, but if we must, we will do that on only one condition: to build and not to destroy. That is why we keep saying we are in the service of God and country. This is the voice of the people, and the voice of the people is the voice of God. Now we have a number of issues to deal with today, and straight for the jugular vein we go. Now the very first story we are looking at today is taken from treenews.com. Oh my God, my own treenews.com. And it says, government begged us not to vet Linda Ocloo. And this is Afenyo Markin speaking. And I read, Minority Leader and Ranking Member of Parliament's Appointments Committee, Alexander Afenyo Markin, has revealed that government representatives personally appealed to the minority to refrain from questioning a Greater Accra Regional Minister nominee, Linda Ocloo, during a vetting. Now, Ocloo's vetting, which lasted less than 10 minutes, raised eyebrows as no questions were posed by committee members, an unusual occurrence in the parliamentary vetting process. Now, the brief and unchallenged nature of her approval sparked public debate and speculation over the rationale behind such leniency. Now, speaking in an interview with Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, GBC, on Monday, February the 3rd, that is today, Afenyo Markin explained that the minority silence was a direct response to a plea from government officials. They came begging that the woman could not stand the scrutiny, so we just let her go. They said she's a widow and that she could not stand the heat, he disclosed. Now, according to him, government officials cited Ocloo's personal circumstances, specifically her widowhood, as a reason for the request, expressing concerns about her ability to handle the pressure of rigorous questioning. So, my brother, these are the traitors of Ghana's democracy. They are nothing but dirty traitors. Afenyo Markin should bow down his head in some dirty, stinking shame. Listen to this guy talking like an infant. Listen to this guy talking like he has no brains. My brother, he is saying that he decided, alongside the minority and the majority, to lower the standards at the detriment of the whole nation called Mother Ghana. These are guys who claim they should be called honorables. These are guys who claim that they are serving Ghana. My brother, my sister, this woman here went for vetting, having been appointed by the president to a certain responsible position as the boss of the Greater Accra region. My brother, my sister, at the end of the day, the boss of the capital was not asked, was not vetted appropriately, as everybody bemoaned this situation. Right now, the minority leader comes out to tell us the reason she was not vetted. What was the reason? Because she's a widow. And once she's a widow, in fact, to vet a woman like that, she would not be able to stand the rigorous nature of a vetting. And they allowed her to go. My brother, my sister, All these guys should bow down their heads in shame. Right from whoever brought in the plea and whoever accepted this dirty, stinking plea. I am so ashamed of these dishonorables who want us all to call them honorables. It looks like they are all history illiterate. In the last vetting we saw in Parliament, Sarah Adwoa-Safo went in there, and because she had a baby, they asked and pleaded that the vetting should be as short as possible. We all heard Haruna Idrisu and the rest of them say, no, you know you have a baby, blah, 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 blah. She had the shortest vetting. The last time we vetted appointees of ministers, appointees of the president. What did we see from Sarah Adwoa-Safo? She had a cozy walk in the park. She became the most arrogant minister of state we had in that government. We heard her say against all her swearing that she would serve the nation and put the nation first. She told us without any respect, with all arrogance, that her family first. Such an arrogant woman. Such an arrogant woman. That was what Sarah Adwoa-Safo told us. My family first. She decided to abscond. Better still, she decided to put away her ministerial duties and run away all the way to America. There she was. We saw her celebrating birthdays. My brother, my sister, on camera. Yet, the Ghanaian people were waiting for her to come and deliver her responsibility as she had sworn her to do. She had an easy vetting. The same such plea. Oh, she's a nursing mother, so don't keep her waiting. My brother, my sister, what prevented Adwoa-Safo from bringing a baby to the parliament for vetting? She could have breastfed the child right at the vetting, and that would have been a clean, beautiful campaign for breastfeeding, natural breastfeeding for all mothers across the nation. She could have even been an ambassador for breastfeeding. But no, arrogance and dirty tactics in the Parliament House. They allowed her to go free. Because she had it easy. She gave Ghana a raw deal. At the end of the day, the president was so embarrassed. He had to kick her out of her position as the gender, social, whatever minister. Today, it is this woman here called Mrs. Ocloo, Linda Ocloo. She lost her husband. Yes, we sympathize with her. This is called for national duty. We need to find out whether she's capable of doing the work or not. What is her dossier like? Can we go into that? Can we question her? This is the first time I am hearing that simple questions could make somebody lose their lives. She lost her husband, fine. If she's not in the right state of mind to serve the nation, put her aside. It's not by force. There are other people who could do the thing. Today, so anybody who is bereaved could run away from every vetting in Ghana, or anybody who is breastfeeding could run away from vetting in Ghana. What a cheap parliament. Oh my God, have mercy. What is this? This is so nauseous, so stinking. Now this woman has been left off the hook because some charlatans, irresponsible charlatans, decided to go and beg the minority not to vet the woman because she lost her husband. My brother, my sister, this is why the Cecilia Dapas will continue being in government. This is a reason square pegs will continue to be in round holes in government. I am so sad and disappointed. Well, thanks to Afenyo Markin, he has told us how cheap this appointment committee is. It's stinking cheap. It's beyond cheap. And if I had my own way, I would disband this dirty, cheap, irresponsible appointment committee right now. If some people can come in and tell you, don't ask this person questions because the person is bereaved, and you go by the flow, my God, then I wonder what Mandagana is doing. What is the importance of the vetting anyway? It's supposed to examine the appointees and be sure that they are truly cut for the work. And you bring them in and let them have a good walk, cozy walk in the park. At the end of the day, as we are told, they might even take some money from the chief of staff for coming to sit there and allow people to walk like that. Now, these guys are not serious. They are traitors of our democracy, traitors of our nation. No wonder they can go and sit there and box each other night and day over, we are tired, we won't vet anybody anymore. Hey, we want to go. Yet these are the same dishonorables who would wake up before cock crow and go and sit in the parliament house because they want to sit at a side that is called majority. You fought to be able to sit at the majority side. God has rewarded you with a micro minority. Go and sit at the majority side again. You fought and woke up very early in the morning before cock crow. Some of you have never even done that all your lives. Even if your houses were on fire, you will never wake up that early. But because of this ego, you decided to get up early in the morning before cock crow. Some of you did not even brush your teeth. You went and sat at the majority side. Today you'll be rewarded with a micro minority. Would you dare go and sit down at the majority side? Go and sit down there. Oh, what a shame. Is this what we are teaching the next generation? That you can sideline Ghana and let any Tom, Dick, and Harry come walking by as long as you are giving such a flimsy reason. Why? Is she the only person who has lost her husband? Huh? Is she the only person? If she doesn't have the mental capability of handling this situation, with all respect, it's about Ghana. Please, if you are going to war and there are wounded people, you do not risk their lives by taking them to war. You let them stay aside and put on your best soldiers to go and fight. Or else, you are on a sacrificial spree. Better still, sacrifice spree. You are leading them to the slaughterhouses. It's a shame. Thanks to Afenyo Markin, we've realized how shameless the appointments committee is. And again, I cry for Ghana. What a shame! Now the next thing I want to look at, and I want to be very quick with that. What a shame! Oh my God. I'm reading this from Ghana Web, and it says, they cannot tell the public about their houses at Airport Hills. That is why they say, my wife takes care of me. And this is Afenyo Markin still speaking. And I read, now the minority leader of parliament, Alexander Afenyo Markin, has criticized an unknown individual believed to be the communications, digital technology, and innovations minister designated, Samnate George. Now, according to Afenyo Markin, some members of the ruling government are acting childish, portraying to the public that they are righteous in the ongoing alleged state looting, but far from reality. He explained that the work of Operation Recover or Loot, an investigative team set up by the President John Dramani Mahama to recover state assets, must be questioned as they have neglected part of their responsibilities. He expressed surprise that the oral team has refused to investigate chain homes, an estate he alleged was built on state land. In an interview on Joy News on February 2, 2025, he accused Foreign Affairs Minister designated Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa of shielding certain individuals who own state lands at Roman Ridge. Now, the entire chain homes was a state land that a private developer acquired from the state. Why is the so-called oral not interested in going to chain homes to question all the property owners that you have looted? If you go to cantonments, all these huge apartments are owned by the Turkish, the Lebanese, the Syrians, the Indians, the British Americans. All investors from all parts of the world, including Ghanaians, own properties in cantonments, Ridge, Roman Ridge, and all. You know, when Blakk Rasta was talking about looting, there were some big men behind him whom I know own state lands at Ridge. Huge acres. They are acting childish and creating an impression that they are righteous. That is why they cannot boldly claim they own a property at Airport Hills. That is why they say, my wife takes care of me. I am a tenant. Who in this country will stay at Airport Hills and rent? That place you buy to own. The covenant in the agreement is that owner occupation, they won't allow you to rent. Well, my brother, my sister, sometimes I wish it was 1979 when Rawlings came in with all the foolhardiness and all the Dutch courage, so that people like this will be shot, killed, and buried in shallow graves unmarked perpetually. On a more serious note, on a more mild note, on a more sensible note, can I look at this, please? Afenyo Markin, your government was in power for 8 solid years. Mahama just took over less than a month ago on the 7th of January. It's not 8th February yet for us to say it's even 1 month. And already, you know all the big men, the Syrians, the Lebanese, the Turks, and everybody who owns a house in cantonments, in Ridge and all that. What prevented your government from dealing with these people if you truly love Ghana? In a serious country, this guy will be castrated. In a serious country, this guy would be castrated. So, these constituencies who vote for these guys with empty heads, why do they vote for them? They don't even have you at heart. This is a guy who claims he knows some illegality happened. And some people own homes and blah, 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 where, illegally, who are supposed to be vetted and investigated by a team that just got put up, known as ORA. And they are not doing it. And in his own words, they are acting childish. Or have you just got the knowledge freshly? You didn't know this when you were in power as the majority leader. It's now that you have come to know that there's some illegality happening, right? Granted, my brother, my sister, once you have this information as a patriot, what do? You are a parliamentarian. Make it known. Bring out the list that you have. Present it to the so-called oral. If you don't trust them, there's another investigative outfit that could deal with this. Even Shraj could deal with this. My brother, my sister, the office of the special prosecutor is still on. There's no new special prosecutor. I want to imagine that the old special prosecutor is still on. Can they not investigate this corrupt activity? My brother, my sister, and if the people mentioned Sam George and Blakk Rasta have houses at airport, whatever, and they deny it, can we investigate this fully? Are we ashamed of our investigative apparatus? Are we that weak to be able to go down and investigate the owner of a house? Is that how weak our investigative apparatus is in Ghana? If you cannot find the real owner of a certain house that has no wings to fly, that cannot sink into the abyss, then I wonder what you can do when it comes to forensics. Our investigations in this country are so weak, so porous. This morning I was speaking with a fire officer who came here, and he was bemoaning the situation where people give them prank calls. Ghanaians will call the fire line, and then they will prank them. They will rush to the area and nothing is happening. Or if it's a female's voice that comes on the line and it's a man calling, some of the time they even start proposing love. And according to the fire officer, some of them even start making sexual noises to the women on the line who are supposed to be dealing with the fire. So the simple question was, you have no way to trace these calls? Said no. Why? Why? The easiest thing to trace is a phone call. When you go to America, they trace the phone call so easily. Most of the time. In South Africa, when you make a call to the police and you don't even speak, or the fire service and you don't even speak, within seconds, they are in front of your house. They will call your phone back and demand to speak with you, or else they break down the door and enter. In our country, no. You can shoot a man in front of the police station and they will never find the killer, because the killer has evaporated all of a sudden into the atmosphere. In a country that believes more in spirits than physical hard work, my brother, my sister, you can shoot a man right in front of the police station, and for 8 million years they are still investigating. My brother, my sister, it's a shame. It's a shame. Now you cannot go to Equity with dirty hands. To go to Equity, your hands must be clean. First and foremost, we need to make sure that the oral members themselves are clean. If Afenyo Markin is making such a big allegation that oral is nothing but a joke, can they start by teaching him what a joke oral is? Declare your assets now. All members of oral must declare their assets. They must start investigating very seriously, rather than running after people's cars, picking up the cars and returning them later, like in the case of that guy. What's his name? What's his name? What's his name? Lord Comey. There's a story here on my Joy Online which says some people ununiformed went into the house of Lord Comey at midnight and seized 6 of his cars, claiming that they were stolen cars, only for the cars to be returned in less than 24 hours, because the higher authorities in power said it was a very, very despicable way of operating under oral. Now, any Kejetia boy, any Makola boy can run in the name of the NDC, party in power, and seize anybody's goat or sheep and claim that you stole it. That is not what oral is for. Please put all these guys in order. Whip them into line, or else you are about to create a lawless banana state. Lawless banana state. This afternoon, in fact this morning, I went into the office of Malik Basintali. My brother, it was a fight to even get into the building. So many people all over the place. The youth, left, right, and center, including some people living with disability. Because they claim that one of their own has been appointed and they are trying to take the person out and sabotage him. So they were there for a press conference. I said, well, exercise your democratic rights. So many squatters around Malik Basintali's office. When I arrived, I called him and said, sir, I am here. He had to send somebody down to come and bring me, wading through the magnanimous crowd. Hallelujah. And when I went in there and I saw the gentleman, tears started running down my eyes. If I were in his position, I'm sure I would collapse every 2 minutes. The crowd there. And I asked him, Malik, what are all these people here for? He said, Blakk, everybody wants to talk to me. During the campaign, all these people were behind us because they didn't have jobs. Now that I am the boss of the YEA, Youth Employment Agency or Authority, whatever it is, they have come less than 1 month after we have taken office to give them jobs. Hey! Is it their fault? No, it's the fault of governments that failed. Everybody was on the compound. And Malik himself has lost weight. My brother, this is only Malik, not a minister of state. You can imagine what ministers of state are going through. Mahama has a lot of work to do. And this work must be done earnestly. Better still, in earnest. This work must be done so dispassionately, patriotically. I sympathize with the brother. When I was going to leave, Malik said, oh, my brother, there's some goro here for. I said, please, I feel so guilty I can't take any goro from you. Never. If I take this goro from you, my conscience will never set me free. I'll cry. Goro. There are goro boys down there. If I take this goro, what goro are you going to be left with to give to the goro boys down there? Hey, when I came down, I saw these gentlemen, some of them very able men and women. They are all looking for jobs. What happened to the state farms, the Kwame Nkrumah state farms? What happened to the silos? What happened to all those wonderful things? YLP. So if a micro-minority leader in parliament says he knows some corrupt guys who acquired land illegally, we should push them. They shouldn't even be waiting for us to push them. Patriotism should let them come out and deal with it the way it's supposed to be dealt with. Right? Are we right? Are we right? Are we correct? My brother, my sister, at this point, I want to leave it here. At this point, I want to go. This is the worst parliament we have had. And this is just the beginning. What is this? People are begging you not to do your duty. You are being begged not to do your duty. You have failed your constituencies. You have failed your constituents. You have failed Mother Ghana. It's a shame. Shame on you guys. I leave it here.